All right, everybody. Well, hey, our second guest of International Podcast Day is an awesome person. You're going to want to know this lady. She is just accolades upon accolades. When I throw up her bio here, I could not fit it all in, so JJ had to shrink it down a little bit. I was totally impressed. We have the one, the only, the beautiful, the lovely JJ Flizanes, who is the host of the Fit to Love podcast, among a couple other things. But for those that don't know who she is, definitely pay attention here. She's an empowerment strategist and host of the Fit to Love podcast show. She's the director of Invisible Fitness and Amazon best-selling author of Fit to Love, How to Get Physically, Emotional, and Spiritually Fit to Attract the Love of Your Life, and author of NAC Absolute Abs, Routines for a Fit and Firm Core?
Yeah.
And was named Best Personal Trainer in LA by Elite Traveler magazine. That's awesome, JJ.
Thanks,
Good
Scott.
stuff.
Yeah.
Your newest book, The Invisible Fitness Formula, 5 Secrets to Release Weight and Body Shame, debuted at number 2 on Amazon's bestseller list and hot new release for women's health. She vividly reminds us that the word fitness is not just about the state of one's physical body, but also the factors which determine a person's overall being. A video expert for About.com and regularly contributing for the Daily Love, JJ has been featured in many national magazines such as Shape, Fitness, Muscle, and Fitness, Hers, Elegant Bride, and Women's Health, as well as appearing on all the media outlets and the TV there. For our clients and followers, JJ designs customized coaching programs and unique, versatile approaches that harmonize the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. Well, good morning, sunshine, right?
Good morning.
How you doing out there today?
I'm good. I'm definitely used to being on the East Coast for the last couple of days, so I'm up and at 'em here.
So tell us a little about if what I didn't cover there. What's JJ all about? What's Fit to Love all about, JJ? What can the listeners out here for Podcast Day 2018 take from listening to your show or take from the advice that you love to give people?
Yeah, Fit to Love was born out of the need for me to, I was hearing Doug talk about blogging, right? So a lot of us in business were told, oh, you need a blog. And blogging was like, ugh, like it was so hard. It was so much. It was so long. And then I thought, and as a personal trainer, I'm a very curious person. I've got a great tool bag. I've been learning things for the last 20 years as a personal trainer. And I've kind of dove deep into answering people's questions before they even know that it's a problem. They have something going on with them and I don't have the tools, and I learned something new to come back and go, well, here's how we can solve this problem. But unfortunately in my fitness industry, a lot of the problems that we come up against aren't things that people are expecting answers for. So I've kind of moved out of the field of fitness only. It's not just about the latest, greatest craze, which I don't care about. It's so surface. It bores the crap out of me. And it's not even very scientific. A lot of trainers aren't even very scientific. They just follow the latest fad and then you get injured and you wonder why. It's because none of them know science. None of us have to go through a 4-year, 6-year, 8-year degree to become a personal trainer. Yet we're dealing with physics and the anatomy and physiology and biochemistry and the endocrine system. And of course, then your brain. So through over the 20 years, I've learned and been interested in, for myself as well as my clients, all these different ideas, and I didn't have an outlet for it. And when I heard about podcasting, I went, oh my God, that's where I can put it, because I can do 6 days a week. I can do fitness on one day. I can do nutrition and cooking on the next day. Then I can start talking about all the other things so that if people are interested, then it's a way for me not to get basically rejected. You're not going to reject me because I won't see you. So you're going to either like the fitness part, like the food part, and I'm going to get to test. Podcasting for me was a way to test, like, how do people want me to show up in the world? What interests you of what's coming out of my mouth? What are you in alignment with that I'm excited about, so that I can kind of decide for myself where I want to put my time and energy. So after doing the 6-day-a-week show for 2 years, and well, not quite 2 years, but 2 seasons, 350 shows, I took that 6-day-a-week show and I broke it up into 6 different shows. And from there, I really understood where people wanted me. And I really got what like the hot buttons were and what made me tick. And from there, that's how the Fit to Love podcast was born. I still do it, but it's not as important, even though there's still a lot of followers. I have other shows that are doing way more in gathering the right kind of community for me.
What are the shows? What are the shows that you're really getting?
So my most popular show is called Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. And it is really a very kind of what I'm really good at, I'm a sort of like the left right brain person. Like I can take someone who's sort of spiritually curious but skeptic because they're science based, and I can convince you why law of attraction is actually physics and it's not woo woo and it's not something that you believe. It's actually a fact, and I can prove it to you very quickly. Same thing with astrology. Someone who thinks astrology, that's ridiculous, I can prove to you in science why it's not. And then for the people that are right brained who are all they believe all of this, they know this, but they don't know how to like live it. Like it's not tangible. They can't figure out how to put it in their daily life. Like they have the idea, but they're actually not living it. They can't embody it. So I can bridge those gaps. And so spirit, purpose, and energy has attracted a lot of people who on both sides either need to believe because they haven't been convinced yet of why this is a thing or how to use it in a practical way, or the people that really want to live it, but they don't really know how because they know they want to feel better, but they don't know the little steps they can take that are super easy. So spirit, purpose, and energy is really my number one flagship show right now. I don't market it at all. And people share it. I get tagged on Instagram daily. I get emails daily from fans all over the world who say that my show has changed their life. And it's really cool. And I love it. And they come to my events and they sign up for coaching. And so spirit, purpose, energy has had a life of its own. It literally is the embodiment of law of attraction for me. Like I put it out there, had no attachment, and it took off. And I went, whoa, okay, cool. I was like super excited about that. So that's the first show. The next most popular show would be Women, Men, and Relationships, which Doug is now actually a co-host on the second day a week. And so where he's sort of like goofy, never serious, talking about stuff on his show with Strick on his Tuesday, Thursday show. When he comes on with me, I zero into like, let's get real. I mean, he's still, this is like true serum for him, the microphone, but it's real in an applicable way. So I get deeper than they do on Nice Guys on Business. So Women, Men, and Relationships is the next most popular show. And then Fit to Love is in there. And then I've got Nutrition and Alternative Medicine. I've got Smart Exercise, which is a video show. I've got Easy Paleo Gluten Dairy-Free Cooking, which is also a video show. And what am I missing? I've got... yeah, and I got a few more. There's a couple more that are coming. Just, just type my name in iTunes and figure out what interests you. But those are the shows that are active right now.
What has been, besides it just manifesting just listeners and followers and response from all across the country, what else has been your biggest surprise about being a podcaster?
That guy.
Yeah.
Yes. And really it's what I love about podcasting, again, it goes back to law of attraction. It's like leverage, right? So if you're someone selling something and you can do like the one-offs, you can go one by one person and decide, okay, or you can go and leverage. You can do one thing one time and let lots of people see it. And the ones who are attracted to you come to you and you know who they are. They self-select. So forget marketing, forget trying to figure out where should I put my thing. It is self-selection because they are finding you. You be you, you do what you love, you talk about what you love, and they will find you. It's so easy. And if they don't like you, guess what? They're not going to contact you. Who's going to waste their time telling you that they don't like what you're saying? They're really not. They're just going to move on to the next podcast. So I think the biggest surprise for me is that I've had this desire to grow and expand as a person, as a facilitator, as a trainer. And I've allowed other people over the years to tell me how to show up because they're not comfortable with me being an expert in law of attraction, or they're not comfortable with me giving relationship advice, or they're not comfortable with me life coaching. No. You were named best personal trainer in Los Angeles by Elite Traveler Magazine. You should stay in the training space. You should stay with the exercise space and the food space. And I'm like, but that's only a piece of the puzzle. It's so much bigger than that. And that doesn't light me up. Do I know about it? Can I change your life through those two things? Absolutely. But if you're not interested in having the whole conversation about how it's all connected, I'm not going to be able to help you because you'll get a wall. You won't get lasting results. I'll get bored. You'll get bored and it's not going to work. And it's going to be one of those things that people do that yo-yo. And I hate that crap. So I'd rather get to the root, pull it out, and like you're weeding, right? Anyone who gardens understands you can't cut the weed off at the top. You have to pull it from the root. It just keeps growing back. Why can't we get this when it comes to like health, fitness, and relationships? You have to find the root, pull it out, and change the behavior. So podcasting has really allowed me to grow in ways that I wanted to and given me the opportunity, space, and validation to do that, even though I didn't know I needed the validation. When I stepped into my room the first time I did my first live event, I said to them, I filled my room of people from my show. And that was so gratifying because they came from all over: Hawaii, Rhode Island, Tennessee, North Carolina, Canada. And I'm in LA. There were a few people who came from LA, but people flew from all over to be at my event. And when I went around the room and asked them how they got there, and they said, from my podcast, I had other podcasters in the room who have twice as many downloads as I am and can't fill a room. I was like, wow, like the power of this podcast, because right, you're in someone's ear. This is so personal. And to hear that their lives have been touched, that they spent the money, that they took the time and they came into my room. And I said to them, guys, like, I'm not an expert in law of attraction. They went, yes, you are. And I was like, okay. So it's allowed me to step into more and more, again, partly because of the validation of knowing that what I'm saying is affecting people in a deep and meaningful way. I can stop hiding. I mean, I just had an event last weekend, and it's still, I had to come clean and say, look, I'm still hiding. I'm still padding this event with other presenters so that I can guarantee you have a transformation. Because for the last 2 times, I wasn't sure that I could do it for you myself. I didn't know that I was enough. And now I know I'm enough. And now I know I can do it every time, because the people that are in the room who listen to my show have already had a transformation, which is why they're there. And so for me, podcasting has changed my life because it's allowed me to grow into who I really want to be, and allowed me the path and the evidence to know that that's possible in a much bigger way than I ever could have, like in a gym or trying to like get individual clients. Like, it's just right. It's leverage. It's leveraging this energy and this, I was hearing Doug talk about, and I'm in, I don't know, 142, 150 something countries. I have over 1.5 million downloads myself. So, you're reaching a lot of people, and there's a percentage in sales, right, that those are going to convert into something. They're going to want more from you if you're doing the right thing. And so I've just allowed it to happen. It's been super fun, and definitely is a life changer on several fronts.
Very much so. I would say, I would really put it out that everybody is like a wheel and all different spokes, and you're hitting a different spoke. Like you just talked about, if you were just in a gym, you'd be kind of just penciled into that gym rat kind of trainer aspect of it, but you're hitting it because we all have different levels to, we're doing spiritual, astrological, all that aspect. And so that's really, really cool, because so many people figure, I just got to focus on this one niche, because that's what everybody tells. But we're all a makeup of different niches, right? And hitting those different niches out there, right? I
think it's the entry point, because for me, the niche that has gotten me now where I am is really, if you go into iTunes and type in astrology, my show comes up number 1. If you type in numerology, my show comes up number 1. If you type in law of attraction, I come up number 4. If you type in spirituality, I come up number 4. That's spirit, purpose, and energy, which makes me a lot easier to find. So it makes keywords more important, which means that I don't have to market, because I'm going to attract the right person when they type in those 4 keywords. I used to think with Fit to Love, because I wrote a book about finding the love of your life, that in getting spiritually, emotionally, and physically fit, I thought that the entry point for me was going to be people that were single, which is why I started Fit to Love. But that did not grow and build in an organic way that was working for me. And I thought, there's something going on here. I have a really good show. I have great content, great guests, life-changing stuff. How come this isn't taking off? And so intuitively, I thought, I need to rebrand. I need to maybe each show is so unique and specific to its own day, the topic. I need to maybe show that a little bit more different, in a better way, in a more clear, concise way for the audience that's looking for it. So when I put up spirit, purpose, energy, so now my entry point is clear. It's spirituality and it's law of attraction. And I wouldn't have claimed that otherwise. I wouldn't have started with that, because I would have said, well, who am I to say that? Who am I to, yes, have I lived it? Yes. Do I do it all the time and prove over and over again that I do this and I understand this and it works for me? But until I show you that or tell you that, I'm not going to step into that and say, yes, I'm an expert in law of attraction. I mean, so that's just, there's nowhere you're going to get a certification saying you're an expert in law of attraction. So my entry point is now. So I still believe in the niche, right? But you have to find what niche you really fit in that works for you, that leverages all parts of you. Yeah, if you're too general, it doesn't make any sense. And Fit to Love was too general. But I also would never have started 6 shows. I wouldn't have gone into it and said, oh, I'm going to start 6 different shows. Oh my God. Like, people look at me and go, why do you have so many shows? Because I had one show that had 6 days a week. And then when that wasn't working, I rebranded. And that's how I have 6 shows. Well, now like 9, but right.
But part of those have come from your podcasting relationships though, too, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I've new shows. One of the days of the week of Fit to Love is still not up, which is why it's another one coming, because my commitment to myself was to test all the information and repurpose it. And I still have one day of the week called Thoughtful Thursdays from Fit to Love, which is the psychology piece, the behavioral piece, the say hypnosis and mindset piece. Those shows have not been repurposed the way that I want them to. And I'm sorry, people who listen to nutrition alternative medicine, I've not done you any justice either, because I have so many nutritional alternative medicine shows that have not been properly repurposed on that show, but I promise before the end of the year, they will be. So I'd like to complete my, my goals. So I'm going to get those done and up. And then if they don't work and if they're not very popular, then they'll stay there for people in the future, but I'll move on. So yeah, podcasting has been definitely a life changer on so many levels.
Where do you think your shows, where do you think it's going to take you next?
So I'm developing a food product, actually. Everything just sort of like kind of unfolds. So my event, I have 2 events a year. The next one's in January called Releasing What Weighs You Down. And I had people signing up for the next January's after last January's. Not only the people from my January event in 2008 this year, but people who heard about it after the fact and signed up for the next year's. So I'd like to have sort of a rotating 2 or 3 events a year. They're small retreat-like situations where we go deep, because you can't, I don't care how long you've been in therapy. If you're in therapy for 7 years talking about the same thing, it ain't working, because you can't really build any momentum in an hour or 50 minutes with a therapist. I mean, you can have some insights and you can have some ahas, but do you actually embody? Do you cellularly, like energetically make shifts and changes? You probably don't until something in your life happens. If you don't respond differently in the same situation after 7 years of therapy, it's not working. So this is why I had to do live events, because I had to take all the things I'm talking about and give up people a time and a space and a gift of actually doing the work. And doing the work means actually living it, doing things differently, taking action. And so the events are super important. Like it's not even about money. Like if I'm in the black, cool. If I come out even, cool. But it's like not even I have to do it. To me, for my own sense of community, as well as to give people a way to actually embody this work. But where I think it's going next for me is after just the event and continuing to build the community and find out what people want from me. I have this product that's come out of this. At my event, I made this joke because I had lots of different sponsors, and this one company, they were not a sponsor, but I said, okay, their customer service sucks and their product is amazing and I love it and everyone should try it and I really want them at the next event. And I've Instagram messaged them. I've sent them emails. There's no phone number, of course, so I couldn't call. And I said, if they don't respond, I'm going to make it. And then I kind of like let that go. And then 2 weeks after my January event, I'm taking a walk, and I thought, and I just stopped dead in my tracks and went, oh shit, I'm going to make that product. It was like, oh, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to do it because I just got real clear. I love it. I promote it all the time. I mentioned it once on Instagram and 12 people went and bought a bag immediately. I'm like, the power of that was like, oh, I need to make right now. Using the platform that I built really to sell and sort of spread the word about this upcoming product that I'm working on is like where I'm going next.
That's exciting. It's that old manifest. You put something out there, law of quantum physics, it brings it right back to you. Be careful what you put out there because you'll get it back, right?
Oh my God, it landed and I stopped. I went, oh God, I have to do this. Wow. No idea how. New thing to learn. Great. Okay, but I can do it. Okay, guess what I'm doing this in the next year.
Well, but that's a huge strength that you have, JJ, is that you're not scared to go beyond where you're at. You're not scared to get outside your comfort zone. I think a lot of people, do you see a lot of people struggling with that? It's one of their biggest breaks is when they get outside of that fear zone and start taking action.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, I'm a hard seller when it comes to my event on my show. I'm like literally yelling at people and they listen, right? Because I'm like, guys, like what? And clients, like personal clients that I've had for, 8 to 10 years, like one of them came to my last event because I said, get out of your comfort zone. You are not changing because you're unwilling to do something new. And of course, I wasn't trying to guilt or shame him. I did it in an email. I did not do it to his face. And then he thought about it and he's like, okay, you're right. And on the show, I can say the same thing. I can yell at people and say, you listen to me and that's great. And you feel inspired, but like, is your life really changing? Can you please like get out of your comfort zone and put some time and effort into yourself? So yes, that is something that, and podcasting actually taught me that. I learned about podcasting in 2014 in March. I had heard somebody who was very, very successful in the beginning of podcasting say, and he said he had like a membership model. And when I did the math on that, I was like, damn, I can do that. I'm like, and he also said he didn't make any money for 2 years. I'm like, okay, I have enough content flowing out of me, oozing out of me all the time. I can do that for 2 years without making any money. Now I did make money, but I didn't make a significant amount of money. I did sell products. I did have people who contacted me, but during the Fit to Love reign, again, wasn't that clear about my biggest strength that people were attracted to. So when I started learning podcasting, I did it by myself. I learned how to audio edit. I learned how to video edit. I learned how to have interviews, right? You go through all of that kind of stuff. So I had to get out of my comfort zone to learn how to have a podcast. So once I did that and figured out all the technical stuff, I'm like, well, if I can do that, I can do anything. So But I do believe, and I do agree with you, that most people's issue is getting out of their comfort zone because they don't know what they don't know, and they're afraid to do something different for in fact that they can fail.
Sure. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, JJ? Find more about what all that you're offering.
JJFlizanes.com. So the name's right there, JJFlizanes.com. Got lots of goodies there for you. A free copy of my book, the latest book, The Invisible Fitness Formula, 5 Secrets to Release Weight and Then Body Shame. I got lots of free stuff. So come on over to JJFlizanes.com. Check out the free tools and resources and connect with me. Find my show if you're interested. Would love to have you join our community.
Awesome. JJ, thank you so much for taking time this morning to be part of Podcast Day 2018.
Thanks, Scott. It was so fun. Thank you for hosting this, and congratulations to you and all your success.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right. So let me, I am bringing on our next guest here, Debbie Deschinger. We're getting her rock and roll here. Let's see here. Stop video there. Okay. There she is. Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning to you. I got my Joe. I'm ready to go.
All right. Hang on one second. Let me hit one button here and we'll get rocking and rolling.